is turning, stories are burning bright, from your block to the stars tonight. She's got the scoop, she's got the glow. Lady Ro knows where the stories flow. Saturday morning, rise and shine. News from the heart to the headlines. Lady Ro's got your ear. It's time, let's dive in deep and climb. World spins fast, but she slows it down. Local buzz to the red carpet gowns. Lady Ro's the queen with the news to crown. Saturday morning, feel the groove. Sip your coffee and catch the mood. Lady Ro's got the scoop for you. Let's make the morning move.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope that you guys are doing okay. Let me put something in the chat real quick. Should have already done this. Good morning. I hope everybody's got a notification sent out to them. Let me make sure that I am live. Let me check my phone real quick. I hope everybody is having a good morning so far. I hope everybody is having a good morning. So I have a little busy bee with me today. So if you see me looking around, it's because I have a little busy bee with me. And he and I are going to have us a good Saturday. A to the man. We have a lot of things on the list to talk about today, things I've seen out here on the live. We're going to talk about the boat that was blown up on yesterday. We're going to talk about the Chicago ice raid on an apartment building. We're going to talk about our presidential administration and how they're cutting money for certain things. We're going to talk about the government shutdown this week. Sean Puffy Combs, Governor Gavin Newsom, one of my favorite people to talk about. We're going to talk about the federal appeals court. We're going to talk about the Texas mega church pastor, Cardi B and Nicki Minaj, and that Trump is no longer distancing himself from... And here, can I have it? He found the tambourine. Trump is no longer distancing himself from Project 2025. Give me 1 second. Okay, I am back. Let's get started this morning. First, we're going to start with two notable deaths that happened this week. Jane Goodall. Jane Goodall was a Champese expert. She loved monkeys, and she really... Good morning, Sad Baby Doll. She loved animals, monkeys to be specific, and she spent her time learning how to care for monkeys, and she taught the world more about monkeys. She was a conservationist, which means she was very big on conserving and protecting the environment. The next person that I noticed that was a pretty noticeable guy was Joshua Allen. Joshua Allen passed away this week at the age, I think it was 34 or I think 35 or 36. Joshua actually was a dancing So You Think You Can Dance winner, and he was unalive this week in a tragic train track incident. He was hit by a train. Not sure if he was in a car. There wasn't very much information on it when I looked for more information this morning. But it did happen locally to me. So I thought I would just mention these two people, Jane Goodall and Joshua Allen. May they rest in peace. And my prayers are with the family of these two people. As I said earlier, I have my grandson, my 1-year-old, here with me this week. And so he is busy. So if you see me looking around, it's because he's walking around. And I don't have anybody in the house that is up that can watch him besides me. Good morning, Satin Baby Doll. Good morning, Alicia. Welcome to the live. You got to be kidding me. Good morning, y'all. I look forward to Saturday lives when I can get on here and talk about stuff we've seen in the news this week. And next thing I want to talk about this boat incident that happened on this week. And let me make sure that I uploaded what your president said. Your president, because remember, I don't have a president. I am solo dolo this season, this year, so far. So your president 10 hours ago posted to ICE, Border Patrol, law enforcement. Oh, this is not the one I wanted to show. Hold on. I got it. Give me 1 second. I'm going to add him to the stage. Where is it? When I tell you he has been out here on a terror this week, posting, he did some posting and deleting. Child, I thought he was somebody else for a moment. Give me 1 second. That's very small. So I have to see. Let me look on my phone and see. Hopefully I didn't delete it. I can kind of get what the image looks like. Okay, we're going to beat on the furniture. Let's see. Here it goes. Found it. There we go. A boat loaded with enough drugs to kill 25 to 50,000 people was stopped earlier this morning off the coast of Venezuela from entering American territory. And this is what he posted on Truth Social on yesterday, in case you guys did not know that there was another boat that was in the Caribbean waters that was blown apart by the Americans, by our military. Good morning, Miss Top Notch. Thank you for joining. Oh, it's my cousin. Hey, Verna. Hey, cousin. How you doing? Thanks for joining. So this is what Donald Trump posted on Truth Social. And so I wanted to see, like, what exactly happened in this boating incident. Okay, y'all. I'm just to play a video and I'm going to silence for a minute. We're going to see if we can quiet down the little one. sorry about that, you guys. I thought I was back open. But I will read this. It says the U.S. military carried out another strike on a boat operating in the Caribbean. Officials deemed to be a narco trafficking vessel on Friday morning. The strike killed all 4 people who were on board, Secretary of Defense Haggett said. So, in all actuality, they said that this boat was actually turning around when it was struck and there was nothing on it. But, honey, that's neither here nor there. The boat is gone. Venezuela is a very small country compared to the to the United States. Good morning, Sibo. Thank you guys for telling me I had no say on. I did not realize I put myself on mute, thinking that I could quiet down this this little person. But he's determined he's gonna talk. So I'm just gonna talk a little bit louder than he talks. But because I'm glad to have him here. I love my Buki. But as we said, the 4 people were unalive, and we just pray that there isn't any type of conflict that happens between America and Venezuela in during this time, because that is not what we need at this moment. Let's talk about this guy right here. Now, this is a mega church pastor, a former mega church pastor, named Robert Morris. Texas mega church founder Robert Morris pled guilty this week to 5 felony charges of lewd and indecent acts with a child. The charges stem from a sexual abuse of a 12-year-old girl in Oklahoma in the 1980s. The abuse began in December of 1982 when the former pastor would travel and stay at the home of the victim's parents in Hominy, Oklahoma. Morris received a 10-year suspended sentence, with the first 6 months being served in Osage County Jail, Osage, Oklahoma County Jail. He was also ordered to register as an actual offender and pay $270,000 to the victim, Cindy Clemenshire. He was taken into custody immediately after he pled guilty. I think I have. Did I put a thing up here? I think I did. I don't think I did. I think I decided that that was enough on him. This guy, Gateway, actually is in the Metroplex of Dallas-Fort Worth. Actually, South Lake, a very highfalutin area. To think that he did some craziness like that and actually got away with it for years, because the young lady, I believe, is in her 50s at this time. And she went to him. That's what it was. I wanted to read to you guys an article. She actually went to him and just asked him for compensation for her pain and suffering. Let me read you what he said to her. Robert Morris warned sexual abuse accuser she will be prosecuted for seeking compensations, the emails show. Emails from 2005 released by Cindy Clemenshire show how mega church pastor Robert Morris responded after she asked for restitution for sexual abuse she says began when she was 12 years old. 2 decades before Pastor Robert Morris publicly confessed last week to engaging in sexual behavior. This article is from 2024. With a child, and resigned from Gateway Church in Southlake, Texas. His accuser had confronted him and sought compensation, according to copies of email obtained by NBC News. 23 years ago, after you begin destroying my life, I am still dealing with the pain and damage you caused, Cindy Clemenshire, 35 at the time, wrote to Morris on September 20th of 2005. I'm sorry. According to partially redacted emails provided to NBC News by her attorney, I want some type of restitution. Pray about it and call me. Morris responded 2 weeks later. Debbie and I really do care for you, and we sincerely want God's best for you, he wrote, referring to his wife, Debbie Morris. According to the emails, Robert Morris wrote that he long ago confessed his sins to Clement Shire's father and believed that he'd obtain your forgiveness as well as your families. Now, honey, you done talk to the daddy. You done asked the daddy for forgiveness, but not the daughter. Do that make any sense? I digress. Morris ended his reply with a legal warning. My attorney advises that if I pay you any money under a threat of exposure, you could be criminally prosecuted. And Debbie and I do not want that for you, he wrote. If you need more information, have your attorney contact mine. Morris's emails was the final exchange in a series of messages that year between Clement Shire and Morris and a former Gateway elder. Clement Shire said the email spanning from April to October of 2005 appeared to reveal Clement Shire's attempt to get Morris, who later rose to become a leading evangelical figure who served on former president at that time, but we know now he's president again, Donald Trump's spiritual advisory panel to compensate her for the trauma she says he inflicted on her as a child. Men that have over 100 counts of child, molestation go to prison, Clement Shire wrote to Morris on one of the messages. Men who pastor churches that have over 100 counts of child molestation go to prison and pay punitive damages. You have not had to do either. You haven't had to go to prison and you haven't had to pay me. So she was letting him know. At the urge of a retired pastor, Clement Shire went public with her allegations against Morris last week in a post published by the Wartburg Watch, a website focused on exposing abuse in churches. In the post and in a subsequent interview with NBC News, Clement Shire accused Morris of molestation her for years, beginning at her home in Oklahoma on Christmas night in 1982 when she was 12 years old. Morris hasn't been charged with a crime. He didn't respond to the request for the comment. We know now he has, he finally, when she went public, he did go forward. There was charges that were filed. He did plead guilty on this week. He was sentenced to a 10-year suspended sentence. He will only have to serve 6 months. Child, when I tell you this one right here, he is hilarious. He will only have to serve 6 months, and then he will be free to go home and finish out his 10-year suspended sentence. Ain't that a mess? You say, Jesus, help my God. Exactly. Jesus, please help. Because, chat, what is these people doing? Good morning, Queen Script. Thanks for joining the live. Oh, wow. This happened in South Lake Shake. It's right. You got to be kidding me. The gaslight. And that's the thing. Can you imagine the very fact that she had been taken advantage of, and then for him to say, oh, it happened. I asked your dad to forgive me. I told him about it and he said he would. And then all of a sudden, here you come. I thought you would forgive me when your dad forgave me. How do you even know her dad talked to her about it? Because most dads are, especially of a certain age, they're embarrassed. They're not going to talk to their kid about stuff like that. But if it had been my daddy, probably would have bust your head open. But, hey, it wasn't my daddy. Right, shaking my head. Lord have mercy. Good morning, Butterfly. Welcome to the chat. Child, when I say Godspeed to this Robert Morris, may the swift hand of justice and the Lord Jesus swiftly take him away from us. I mean, get him off the cameras. I don't want to see him no more. He should never, ever be in public view. This man used to have a broadcast on Sunday mornings, every Sunday morning around 7:30, 8 o'clock. I can remember getting up, getting ready for church, and watching his face on the TV screen here locally. Child, get him away from us. Get away from us with this, Apollo. 6 months. You got to be kidding me. Something's seriously wrong with the legal system. Exactly. You got to be kidding me. There is something wrong with the legal system when you can actually assault a child. And she lived with the weight and the guilt of that for years, 30 some odd years, because she's in her 50s. And dealing with the weight of that, she simply was asking him, from my understanding from watching the interview, to pay for her legal fees. I mean, not her legal fees, but her therapist fees, because she was seeing a therapist after therapist after therapist because of what he had done to her. Craziness. It's praying time, saints. And my people, exactly, it's top notch. And my people who are called by my name, if they would humble themselves and pray, baby, then we got to turn. That's one thing we forget in there. We have to turn. Y'all, let me see what this little boy is doing, because I hear lots of noise. Sound like things are being torn up. Hey, put that back. Come here. Come around here with me. Woo, honey. Just sad. Exactly, Butterfly. It is super sad. Super sad. 30 years dealing with that from a child. Lord have mercy. Exactly. The very fact that she carried that weight is devastating. Can you imagine what she dealt with? Girl, y'all heard me telling him to get out he done flipped over. Y'all know I got my package from Stormy Steel, and it had all these little peanuts in them. So they're all over the floor, and he has gathered them up. Now he's looking at me like, are you talking about me? Have y'all tried any of the oils? So far, I'm liking all the smells. So far. This is let me see what this one is. The Zodiac Collection by Canvas Beauty. But so far, I am loving all of the smells. I love blackcurrant anyway. So we'll go over there a little bit later. We'll talk about that. Let me put this back over here because he's eyeing it. That means he's going to touch it and he's going to take it. Yes, but we're back to that 30 years of dealing with the heartache and the grief and the shame, because everything, as we know, comes with some amount of shame. And I cannot imagine what she's had to deal with for all this time. Yeah, Butterfly, honey, he's a handful. He is a handful. So that's that on the mega pastor. You said this is a type of BS is really sick, and to do while calling yourself a man of God. He will pay. He won't get away with it. He will not get. That's one thing I tell y'all all the time. I believe in karma, and I believe that karma is real. The Bible talks about the law of sowing and reaping. I say this all the time. The law of sowing and reaping. The Quran calls it the law of reciprocity. Some people call it karma. Whatever it is, it just means that the things you throw out in the universe has a way of circling itself around and coming back to you. It just does. Girl, I can't wait to re-up on I know you can, Butterfly. I got the bag. I'm gonna have to show y'all my bag too. But I'm gonna do that before I get off this line. I got the brown bag. In fact, let me show it to y'all now while the little munchkin is walking around. Hold on one second. Let me get it. Move back. You can come back over here if you want to, baby. So this is my brown bag. I don't know if you can see it. Y'all, I took it to church. It has little pockets on the side. So it comes with this, right? So I actually have a smaller purse inside here, a Coach purse that I kind of carry around with me throughout the week that has the essentials, driver's license, credit cards, debit cards, stuff like that, keys. And so that little pouch, you can put all your lipsticks and all those things inside of it. When I tell you I love that little bag, this lady at the church said, where'd you get that? Because, baby, I need one. Lady at my job, I need one of those bags. I love that bag. Remember, it came from Canvas Beauty. I'm going to show it to y'all one more time. Y'all look at this bag. And this is like a leather. It's sewn into the actual vinyl. but I love this bag. I love the pockets on the side. I have a phone charger it's a square because you put it on the back of your phone, and it's so easy. I just slide it in here. I was always digging for it in my other purse, but in here I can just slide in the side, and I have everything I need in there. I have Tylenol, my pens for work, anything I need, I could throw it in that bag. And then when I get somewhere, I don't have to take the big bag. I could take the little bag inside, or take my little wallet that I carry with me inside as well. So when I say versatile, I love it. My ADD got me flipping all around. My senior ADD, she was a child and seemingly had no one to turn to physically. The child in her needs to be healed, and the adult in her needs healing. Yes. The thing is, Miss Top Notch, is that her parents were really big into church as well. So this man was staying with them. I'm not sure if her dad was a pastor, but this man was staying with them while he was evangelizing at their church. So I'm not sure what part her father played in the church, but apparently he played a part in it. Good morning, bad girl Riri. Thanks for joining the live this morning. Yes, my granny always said, you might what you owe, but you will reap what you sow, baby. You better believe it. Yes. The bag is nice. I love the bag. I need one for my exactly. You know what? My laptop for work is relatively small. And so when I go in on Tuesdays, I have to go into the office, and my computer bag to me is bulky, and I just slipped it in that little bag, and it fit right in perfectly. I still had a lot of room in it. I put a cushion on, have some cushion with that other bag, and went on to work. When I say perfect. Even my MacBook just slides right in. And now the little boy is carrying the trash can. Thank God it's empty. Put the trash can down, baby. He is hilarious. But I'm going to still do my Saturday morning scoop, even with him. Put the trash can down, Ian. Thank you. So next we're going to talk about where we want to go. Because I think I want to have Butterfly come up here and chit chat with me if she's still in the room on this next one, because I know this one is one of hers. Let me see if I can remember how to do the invite. There we go. Jesus has to avenge his mind, the Lord, and he will repay, cover her, Lord. Exactly. You said, I left out, pay what you owe, be mine, be working faster than my fingers. But you know what? You got to be kidding me. Regardless of how I knew what you were saying. Pay what you owe, and pay what you say. You may not pay what you owe, but you will reap what you sow. When I tell you that is the truth, baby, it is the truth. Hey, beautiful.
Salutations, top of the Saturday morning. I am just so glad my behind. Some said, click on YouTube. Because, baby, if I would have missed my Saturday morning scoop, because I'm like, I know my lady wrote on here all the good subjects this morning. I'm so glad I did not miss out. Okay, because, I've been, a little incognito. Yeah, but I am so happy I didn't miss Saturday morning scoop. But I love your Saturday morning scoop. I think you're doing an awesome job, and congratulations on your 118. Boop, 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 boop. Before you know it, you'll be at 200, and before you know it, we'll be at 500 and 1,000. Okay, so y'all make sure y'all tell a friend to tell a friend about our beautiful Lady Ro. Okay, she's giving us the good content up over here, baby.
Okay, before you run off, let's talk about Cardi B. I know that's your girl, but let's go over here and see what I was gonna say this one for last, but since you're up here, I want to talk about it now.
Okay, let's get into it. I think that's why I lost. No, I believe that alone. But anywho, go ahead.
Cardi B and Nicki Minaj have been going at it on X this week. Let's look at some of the tweets. So before we go to the tweets, I want us to listen to these videos and get us a good little kiki. Okay,
like doing stuff like this, but Nicki Minaj, this is straight to you. What is going on with you? What's going on up there? Why? What did Cardi B do to you? Like, what the did she do? Did she really piss? What did she do? Because you seem too mad at the world and too pressed about Cardi B. Like, Nicki, you always get mad at Cardi for doing something. She can chew wrong, and you gonna hate the sandwich company for making a sandwich. Like, what did Cardi B do to you? You mad about 28,000 units that you sold more than her. Like, yo, you sold 228,000 units, she sold 200,000 units. Whoop-de-doo. What did Cardi B do to you? You mad at everybody. Everybody rocked with Nicki Minaj. I can't even remember a time when people didn't like Nicki Minaj. The only person that didn't like Nicki Minaj was Lil' Kim. And people, honestly, people was picking Nicki Minaj. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you being weird. Like, you seem like the angry grandma, not the fun auntie. You ain't even a fun auntie no more. You angry grandmama. What is wrong? You seem like the type that if all the rap ladies in the industry got together at an award show and did a rendition in a celebration of Nicki Minaj, you would be mad if they did that. You'd be like, oh, I hate that they did that my songs. That used to be sexy, you know what I'm saying? Like, see how that seemed weird when I did that? That used to be funny and sexy, Nicki. Where is that Nicki at? Nobody around Nicki Minaj right now is keeping it real like, nah, fam, that ain't even cool. Stop, knock it off. Stop. Still love you.
Oh, butterfly. Oh my God, we got some more though.
History of Nicki Minaj's beefs. Okay. 2007 to 2012, you have Lil' Kim. This was the infamous beef. Lil' Kim was basically accusing Nicki of stealing her style, not paying homage to her, so on and so forth. Nicki responded with disses with Pink Friday, and then Kim fired back with Black Friday. Then you have the one with Mariah Carey. This one is my personal favorite. They were going back and forth on American Idol, arguing with each other. It was pretty bad, and it's all on camera. It's all on camera. Then they have mutual departures from the show. Then we have the pop girly beef between 2012 to 2016. Taylor Swift, there was a Twitter misunderstanding over VMA nominations, and then that was quickly squashed, okay? Then you have the Miley Cyrus. Y'all already know the Miley what's good. That moment came from the two of them beefing, okay? Then she beefed with Demi Lovato over a brief argument because Nicki didn't tag Demi Lovato in a Met Gala photo. That was squashed as well. Then you have 2013 to 2017, Gucci Mane. So apparently Gucci Mane said that him and Nicki hunched. Nicki said that Gucci was lying on her cat. I wasn't in the room when the hunching was being done. I don't know who hunched, but anyway, they ended up going back and forth, and it was pretty brutal. Then Meek Mill. So of course they were together. Then they broke up. They had this huge post-breakup feud, and they both accused each other publicly of domestic violence. Remy Ma. So that rap battle was about some subtweets and some issues, and then Remy Ma released Sheether, and then Nicki responded with No Frauds. We have 2018 to the present because some of this stuff is ongoing, right? Cardi B, you already know. This literally started over fucking Motorsport. The song is not even that good for all of this to be happening, right? When I went over that in my last video, essentially, Nicki's original verse was, if Cardi's a QB, I'm Nick Lombardi. And then at the end, you, my son, go sit on the potty. And Cardi was like, you're not my coach. You didn't help me. And Nicki was like, when I met Lauryn Hill, I kissed her feet. These rap girls need to pay homage to me. And Cardi was basically like, girl, you. You know what I mean? So that's still going on. I think even at the time of this video, Nicki is still tweeting and ranting about Cardi and Cardi's child. So that's that on that. Travis Scott, Stormi, and Kylie Jenner. So this was a feud over album sales because Astroworld blocked one of Nicki's albums from going #1. And so she went off on him. Okay, 2019 to 2022, Kanye West, he was mad at Nicki because she just refused for whatever reason to clear her New Body verse. It's a very popular song. She didn't want to clear the verse, and he was mad, and then she was mad. It was what it was. Lotto. Now, this is a new-ish one. It's not that new. So this was because Nicki was mad at somebody else, but then started throwing like strays at Lotto, and Lotto was catching the strays. Like, why am I catching these strays? But this was essentially about Super Freaky Girl was categorized as pop. This was a Grammy's decision, not Lotto's decision, by the way. And Nicki was like, well, Lotto's Big Energy should be categorized and treated the same way. And Lotto was like, don't bring up my songs, bitch, to talk about your songs. You know what I mean? They started going back and forth. Nicki started talking about Lotto on Twitter. Lotto started talking about Nicki's sex offender husband and brother, you know, on Twitter. And then it just went bad from there. Okay. Next, we have 2022 to the present. Meg Thee Stallion. We already know what this one is. Now, Nicki had been consistently subbing Meg Thee Stallion for a very long time. And then it came to a head on Twitter. And then what happened? Meg released his, where she talked about Nicki's sex offender brother, her sex offender husband. And then it just went bad from there. Nicki went on a multi-day rant rant/bender, allegedly, where she accused Meg of being an alcoholic, talked about her dead parents, said she lied about being shot. Tory Lanez is convicted and in the clink, so obviously she didn't lie about being shot because nigga in prison. And then after that, it just spiraled. Okay, SZA, she thought that SZA was subtweeting her, and then she went on a rant about SZA, talked about her looks, called her ugly. Jay-Z and Rock Nation, you already know that she hates Jay-Z. She says that Jay-Z owes her a bunch of money, but hasn't provided proof on the bunch of money that Jay-Z like allegedly owes her. So that's that. And then we have miscellaneous beefs. This is not an exhaustive list. We have Stormy, Culture, Blossom, Beyonce and Jay-Z's kids, the COVID-19 vaccine, TMZ, Quavo, Kylie Jenner, Young Miami, Little Mix, Iggy Azalea, her brother's victims, her husband's victims, and random TikTokers. And that is the people's history of Nicki Minaj's beefs.
Yo, Nicki Minaj is losing her mind. Nicki keeps talking about culture. That's uncomfortable, considering the history of Nicki's husband and child. I'm here with you, Queen Script. It is so uncomfortable. Nicki don't surprise me with nothing. I watched the whole story with the girl, her husband raped on NHL. They all harassed that girl. Nicki been trash. You got to be kidding me. Been trash. And the very fact that she gets on this app called X and has herself a little, I don't know. The very fact that she has to prove something every time Cardi B comes out with something is crazy. One more and then I'm gonna let Butterfly have the floor because I want her to clean it up.
My album has some hit dogs hollering. Nicki Minaj refers to all of Cardi B's children as monkeys. But when Erica Mena called Shorty a monkey, we tried to deport her. This is crazy. Am I the only one that remembers back in her Queen radio days?
Onika Tanya Mirage would never, has never, and will never speak ill of anyone's child. I am not a clown. That's clown shit.
Cardi B claps back, speaking on Nicki Minaj's son. Bitch, fuck that slow-ass son that came out your pussy. Now he a whole 5-year-old tiptoeing around the house and can't spell his name. Cardi B also alleged Nicki Minaj's son's favorite color is 5. Oh, fuck that. Gloves is off. Nicki gotta post her son talking today. Right now. You gotta, after that? Shit, I don't give a fuck. I flew into Tudor last night to prepare him for today. If he can't talk. Nigga, teach him Spanish. I don't give a fuck. Teach him every color. Meanwhile, Offset's on tour not giving a fuck. Oh, wow. Yeah. Turn and kick. Woo! Ooh, 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 ooh. Let me hop. She also alleged Jay-Z and Beyonce stole a pose that her and her husband had done. Niggas stealing everything but the drugs. Steal the motherfucking drugs. Nicki Minaj also threatens Cardi B's sponsors, telling them they have 3 days to cut ties or else. Bitch, your dealer got 3 days to cut ties or else you gon' OD. Cardi, please don't make another album. Nicki Minaj hires a random junkie to chime in. Don't make me reopen Nicki's brother's case. As I said, witchcraft was done in the DR, and Nicki's whole family went the fuck down. That's her brother, and she's gonna ride for him, someone said. They found Nicki's brother's semen in her underwear. Explain that. Junkie responds, planted. Junkie for sure. Yeah. JT tells us why Cardi B's boyfriend is gay. Cardi B baby father, a gay man. Not because of how he dressed or expressed himself, but because Chris said out of his mouth.
Butterfly, go on and unmute yourself and take over, girl. Tell us all about it.
Girl, I'm just happy to be alive when people are finally waking up. This girl has always been the problem. You know what? You forgot that I needed you to do the donkey of the day with Charlamagne the God because he was a big part of perpetuating the lie that Little Kim was jealous of this girl. This girl has always been, even in Gucci Mane's book, when he met the cocaine Barbie, right back in the day when she hit Atlanta to get her career popping, she was talking slick about Little Kim then. I forgot what he said, but she had said something slick about Little Kim then. And then you heard how Little Kim explained how Baby wanted to do a song with her all just to find out that they wanted Cocaine Barbie to study her everything just to come out and steal it from her. Like,
Right.
I'm just so glad Little Kim is vindicated. I, for one, have never ever fell for the okie doke when it came to that chick. She has never been a lyricist. And I'm glad people are starting to wake up. And she has always been a problem. Why are you beefing with somebody 10 years younger than you? If you did all of this, because they give this girl fake accolades anyway. They're talking about all these ceilings she broke. But the truth of the matter is Little Kim broke all them ceilings. There would be no art, there would be no rap, black, nothing at no Met Gala if Little Kim wasn't the first one to ever be invited. Like all these ceilings that they claim and all these doors that they claim Nicki Minaj opened was already opened by Little Kim. So just the fact that even like, and what I find really ironic is the reason why she's so paranoid and so bothered by Cardi is because of what she did to Little Kim.
That's it.
Nicki's whole gripe is being afraid of being erased and forgotten and not giving her just due, because that's what the industry allowed her to do with Little Kim. And now everybody in the industry is eating that, because the list, that girl didn't even have half the list. Nicki done and fought it with, don't forget what she did to Garcelle Bouvier. Like, there's way more people that Nicki have attacked, and people
The
have
list-
steadily made excuses for this girl.
Right.
Huh?
The list is long.
Yeah.
The list is
The
long.
list is very long, and not on top of the people that the Barbs have literally doxed, attacked, found these people in real life, destroyed businesses. Like, there could be a whole documentary on how nasty and disgusting this woman has been since her reign. And the reason why, listen, she was shoved down our throats. You know how everybody feel like a lot of these new girls are plants, quote unquote plants. Nicki was an actual plant that was shoved down our throat, and everybody gave her all these accolades and all these credits. And then I don't care what nobody say, all these female rappers that could have been popping, and when they came out and said that Nicki was the reason that their careers didn't get popped because she was closing doors on them, you just watched her do it in real time, telling Cardi B's sponsors to pull out from her after she spoke on Cardi B's daughter first. And this, don't mind you, the incident that happened at Harper's Bazaar wasn't the Met Gala. Everybody keep mixing it up with the Met Gala. That was a Harper's Bazaar event, right? That incident happened because of some slick stuff Nicki was doing on Twitter regarding Cardi B's daughter Culture. So Nicki has always been picking on Culture. She's just finally been direct with it. When Cardi B said that girl did that tweet on Twitter and that's why she attacked that Harper's Bazaar, everybody tried to gaslight Cardi B and make it seem like Cardi B was just tripping and she was lying and all. Even the Barbs hid the actual like that she did. You know what I'm saying? Even though there's still receipts out there that she actually did like that quote. And the quote was about somebody graping Cardi B's daughter because she shouted out Kodak Black for being released.
Exactly. And I was looking last night when I was trying to do some research on this. I even pulled up a video where Queen Latifah had to get Nicki Minaj together based on some stuff that she said about Queen Latifah. Queen Latifah said, I didn't just get here. I've been here. I've been making moves. I've been doing albums. I've been starring in shows, been doing movies. I don't know what she's talking about. And I just think this girl just go around messing with everybody. Everybody.
She does. And I partially blame the industry because they created this monster. They've always made up excuses for her nasty, disgusting behavior. I don't know if any of y'all seen Zach Campbell's video that he did. I don't know if y'all familiar with Zach Campbell. He's another YouTuber who's been on the platform for a long time. He got a nice little following, but he works in the industry too. And he came and said that a lot of people do not want, that girl done burned every bridge that she could ever possibly have. Every bridge. And like I said, the beef list is crazy because she didn't just beef with artists. She beef with journalists. She beef with other actors and actresses. And the disgusting thing that Barbs have done to people that have spoken out against things that they seen Nicki do, baby, that's a whole nother, like I said, that's a whole nother documentary within itself. So it's like, I'm just glad to be alive that people are finally waking up. And, she does need help. And it does give schizophrenic. Allegedly, rumor has it, word on the cover is, we don't know how true that is, but Cardi B dropped that tea while she was dragging and tagging and ragging that heifer like she needed to. Because at the end of the day, Cardi B ain't never did nothing to that girl. Cardi B didn't come into the game, talk about she wanted to be the queen. All that back talk, all that back slick talking that Nicki did to Little Kim when she came in, Cardi B did not do that to Nicki at all.
At all.
So there was no reason for Nicki to ever, you know what I'm saying? But see, like I said, there's a deep-rooted insecurity about Nicki. She's a self-hating black woman anyway. Then she want to use the black woman trope as if she ain't disrespected black women her whole career. Like, it's just crazy.
The whole
it's just crazy.
And the
Mhm.
craziest part, I believe, is that Nikki actually was allegedly, let me put my banner up because I don't want no problem. Allegedly, all views expressed in this live are alleged, in my opinion, and for entertainment purposes. Allegedly, Nicki Minaj was funneling money to Tasha K to talk about Cardi B. And she's partially the reason why Tasha K got sued and owes Cardi B millions of dollars. And I'm just going to put that out there. It's my opinion. It's alleged, though. But we know that Nicki Minaj,
Absolutely.
yeah,
And,
she was
and obviously she ain't learned her lesson because here she go back to the boo lang lang. Witchcraft. Cardi B wasn't even in the game when that situation happened with Nicki Minaj's brother. First of all, do the timeline. Make that shit make sense.
right.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to swear.
No, but you're fine. It's not monetized, no way. But that is, those things are indeed a fact. Is that Nicki Minaj? Okay, there were rappers that came before Nicki Minaj, female rappers, right? We're not gonna ever put Nicki Minaj above some of our female rappers who came out in at the beginning of hip hop. Right? You got MC Light, you got other ones, right? Although Nicki Minaj has been up there, she sold albums, blah, blah, blah. I can't tell you probably not one Nicki Minaj song because I've never been a fan of hers. I've always felt like her fans were just too aggressive for me, so I didn't want no part of it. But she cannot step on everyone else to make herself feel relevant. It's ignorant to me. Salt and Pepper, right? MC Light, you got Queen Latifah, you got there are several other female rappers who are out here making moves.
Roxanne Shante, JJ
Yes,
Fad. I mean, the list goes on. Jackie O. There's a lot of women that can't be like, make it make sense.
Exactly. But you want to come out here and make yourself above everybody else, and everybody else is garbage. And the thing is, her fans want us to believe that that's true. And it's not true. And we know it's not true. Nicki Minaj has created beef with everybody else who she saw as an intimidation to her. Anybody who she felt intimidated by, she created a beef. How do you create a beef with Jay-Z and Beyonce over a pose that they do on a picture? Girl, you mental. Yes, Queen Script Trina. Yeah, I'm not skipping over anybody else. I'm sorry. So Queen Script said Roxanne Shante. She said Nikki, you gotta be kidding me. Says Nikki has been terrorizing people for years and has. Yo. Yes, Queen Script. She said these fans just like MAGA.
Moni Love. Mm-hmm.
They are. Girl, this little boy beat me up now. She's Mika. She's a Mika. Right. The very fact that the Barbs felt like they could attack somebody. Cardi B actually posted, I said, let me go on over here and pull her up since we're talking. I actually have Cardi B's Twitter up. I'm a Cardi B fan. I like Cardi. I like music, right? So if you see me if I'm listening, so I'm just listening to music. But Cardi B posted, she said, good afternoon, y'all. This was 20 hours ago. She said, woo, this D album had me fighting for my life this week. Let's have a good Friday, y'all. And she posted some other stuff. And I'm gonna go down to what she said. She said, don't give my child no backhanded apology. Keep my child's name out of your mouth, because I'm going to always take you where you don't want to go about mine. Honest truth. This going back and forth about kids is really draining my energy. I don't want to keep mentioning my kids. It feels very nasty and dark. But the energy you keep giving my kids, I'm going to resend it back to the messenger. And she posted a picture of a lion and a cub, baby. Baby, I'm with her, because when it comes down to my kids, like my grandbaby's here, he wants me to pick him up. I wouldn't put him in my lap for nothing, because the moment somebody says something about him, then I'm gonna go crooked ways sideways. So I'm gonna stay over here and let him walk around me in a circle and beat me with this fan. And then she also said, dear Papa Perk, Cardi, I'm sorry that your mommy haven't cut you a birthday cake for the past 3 days because she can't take my success or happiness. One day you're going to grow up, and I hope you understand when a girl says no, it means no. And you can overcome the blood you inherited from your grandfather, father, and uncle. Please don't hate me when you grow up because your mommy rather give me more attention than she gives you. Hopefully, when somebody that really cares about her puts her in rehab and gets her the help she needs, she could come out and read you a book. Baby, when I say she wasn't playing with her, and then Cardi says,
Baby.
Cardi
And y'all
said,
still don't think this girl don't write her raps? Make it make sense.
right. We know Cardi writes her raps because she just posted that this lady wants her to. She even showed a text message. I skimmed over it. Baby, why is this little boy pulling this cardboard? Stop.
Hey, leave my house alone, nephew.
It's a board, a caulking board that you put stuff on. I took it off the wall and put it on the floor, and he is
Look, I'm
dragging.
like, leave my little. Look, grandma can donate that to Auntie for her cardboard house. Okay, leave that alone,
Right.
nephew.
Cardi said, I always want a dear black women. Girl, shut the F up. You done beef with every black woman in the industry. Like, girl, who the F beefing with SZA? And you be slick throwing shots at Beyonce, the most unproblematic people ever, while always licking. This boy's trying to tear my house. Always bootlicking a YT artist and posting their accomplishments while they ignore you. And let me tell you something. I say what I want when I want, and you don't stop SHIT here. Ain't nobody effing scared of you. Baby, when I tell you Cardi got her together, she got her together. Go ahead, Butterfly. Can you take over just for a minute? Let me.
Yeah, the sad part, y'all, is this. This done spilled over into the New York streets, right? Y'all know Cardi B really is like a gang member. Not to say that that's something to brag about, but she still go to her hood. Like, she still show mad love to her people. So they got her back 10 toes down, right? And the sad part about this just got really real because Cardi ain't gonna play with her. She, like I said, she been picking with Cardi since she was pregnant with Culture. Cardi thought they, made up, squashed it. Just for Nicki Minaj to still come out and still be bothersome and problemsome. And like I said, it's like, I think I really believe a lot of paranoia came from what she was able to do to Lil' Kim. She's in dire afraid that the industry is going to do the same thing to her. That's why she mixes a lot of truth with lies. Like, everything that she's accusing the industry of doing is what they did to help her career. That's why she speaks of it so knowledgeable, because it's what they did to help her career. So now that it's time for a new girl, now she want to expose everything that she used to catapult her career. Which, as you can see, Nicki Minaj endorsements, she never did what like a Rihanna did. She never transitioned. She never even did what a Queen Latifah did. Queen Latifah stepped aside and moved on and prospered in other areas in her career. Nicki Minaj stayed too focused and too trapped in the hell that she created for Lil' Kim. Remember what I told y'all, Buttercups? When you dig a hole for someone else, do know the hole that you will go down will be 10 times deeper. And we are witnessing her fall, because even when she had everybody turn their back on Lil' Kim did not act in this manner at all.
Right. So true. So true. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know what? Symmetry, you're right. Cardi B's album is good from front to back. It is a good album. She did her good work with that one. A good review from Cardi B here on the record store. Stayed until she signed all the CDs purchased and took pics. Someone bought her Jamaican food and she was just eating and talking. I saw that on the video, Queen Script. Nicki can't write her raps. I don't think she writes. Well, I don't know. Papa Perk took me out. Me too. You know what they say about her. They're all street. Southside Jamaica is a wild place. Right. Is Butterfly you there? Oh, she's muted. But I just find it.
I'm here, babe.
I just find it wild that she got out there and did all that foolishness. I was like, Nicki Minaj is a mess. Now he has a ruler. Child, I'm gonna let him just have a good time. He said, I have the CD, but I'm waiting on the vinyl. Glad I still have a record CD. Yes, I'm telling you, I love Cardi's music. Again, I probably couldn't name not one song that Nicki Minaj sings. Maybe someone told me, and I was like, oh, I didn't know that was her song, because it's just how uninterested I am in anything that she does. I actually had pulled up Nicki Minaj's Twitter as well, and just for fun's sake, let's give her a little bit of whatever she talk about over here. Let me see what she's talking about. And just pulling up old stuff, that she was declared best female rapper by Billboard and best female rapper by Complex, XXL magazine, greatest female rapper, best female rapper by Forbes, and American Songwriter, New York Times most influential female rapper. Why? Why is she? Why is she? A list of Nicki's personal feuds. At some point, we got to realize she's the problem. Cardi B, Jennifer Hoff, Lil' Kim, Remy, Jay-Z, Beyonce, Kanye, SZA, Lotto, Oprah, Doja Cat, Meg Thee Stallion, Ice Spice, Gayle, Lil Wayne, Elon Musk, Safari, Elon, Mariah Carey, Mona Scott, you name it. And she probably has had a beef with them. That's enough for her. I really am sick of her. She gets the big X for today. She the donkey of the day. Y'all get.
She really is. Charlamagne gave her the donkey of the day like she deserved. And to be honest with you, I think the whole industry is a wrap now. She went too far. And like, you know, some people are still mad at the things that Cardi B said. But like I said, in all reality, she literally been picking with that girl since she was pregnant with her daughter. And somebody pointed out that she only went after Cardi B's daughter. She never said nothing about Cardi B's son, Wade. And I always said that she was male identified. She's a Pygmisha. Those are what real Pygmishas look like.
But why even mess with anyone's child? Why?
Period. No, right.
Exactly.
Right. Don't she remind you of somebody else we know that not
right.
Look, you see how she listed all these accolades? She needs validation like somebody else we know. And what we just witnessed was another narcissistic collapse, is what Nicki had. On top of the cocaine.
Thank you. And you know, the sad part is that while she's trying to attack Cardi through her child, I don't even think Nicki realizes her own issues. You married a man who is a convicted, registered sexual offender. You have your family members full of pedos. So why are you out here messing with it? If I was her, I would just do my music and shut up. That's all I would do. If my music is good enough, it's going to sell itself. I don't have to tell anyone else. Get out of my purse. Get out of my purse. Lord have mercy. Yeah, so that's on that. Next person we got on the little docket, because baby, when I say Cardi, honey, I think Cardi did it. She did her work this week, getting Nicki Minaj all the way together. Let's talk about.
She cleared her clean.
She did.
Cleared her.
She did. She cleared her. She put the things on her shop, baby. Because when I tell you, she did, after Cardi got through, Nicki needed some resuscitation, baby. She had the AED machine, and everybody stand clear, because you ain't no way you think you're gonna talk about someone's child and they're not gonna get back at you. And then the very fact, good morning, Sergeant Charge, the very fact that now she's playing victim, because she got on Twitter yesterday and was like, or X, and she said, as long as she was talking about my son. And I said, what did she say about your son other than he can't read? But that was after you had started in on her. Leave her alone. Now, if you can't take it, girl, you might as well go on. And if you can't take the lashings that Cardi's going to give you, my suggestion is that you leave her alone. Leave her alone. Next, let's talk about. Thank you. Can I have it? Can I have it? Thank you. My house is not baby proof. It's just not. It's not baby proof. So there are things you're going to find here that are not for babies. That is for nails. Okay. I'm going to let you sit here. Don't look at the camera. No. He wants his granny to pick him up. So Sean Combs, aka Diddy, aka Puff Daddy, aka Puff, aka P Diddy, aka Brother Love, aka Puffy, was sentenced on yesterday.
AKA the Diddler.
The Diddler, I forgot about that one. Was sentenced on Friday to 50 months in prison. He will get credit for the time he served, which is approximately like 12 months. With good behavior, he will get credit, and that will reduce his sentence by 8.5 months. So 42 months minus 12 months, that means he has to serve about 30 months, which is a little bit less than 3 years. So the good behavior must be earned. So he just doesn't get good behavior. If he does the good behavior, then he could knock his sentence off by 8.5 months. After 24 months, he'll be eligible to go to a halfway house, and then he'll be eligible for any of their work release programs, home confinements, or things of that nature. Within about 15 to 20 days of entering a halfway house, he will be able to, go out and work, which I doubt if he'll work. He probably have just get into a house confinement, home confinement. And then after that, he'll be on probation for 5 years. And he's been ordered to pay a $500,000 fine. That fine does not go to the victims. That fine goes to, I guess, the federal agents or whatever to repay for whatever they did. And we all know that he is planning on appealing his sentence. Good luck. That's all I have for you on that one, buddy. Let's talk about the Chicago ICE raids. I'm not sure how many of you guys have been paying attention to the news, but I want to play this for you real quick. Chicago ICE raid did an ICE raid on an apartment building. Witnesses' accounts say that there were children with no clothes on being forced to the ground. Reports are saying that these people were civilians, not smugglers. But you all's presidents said that that wasn't what it was all about. Let's go on over here and listen.
They're not targeting violent criminals or gang members. They're arresting tamale vendors and delivery men and shaking down families. Donald Trump and Kristi Noem and Tom Homan said they were targeting the worst of the worst criminals. They lied, and they continue to lie. 60% of the individuals that ICE has taken in Illinois this year have no criminal convictions of any kind. ICE is running around the loop harassing people for not being white. Just a year ago, that was illegal in the United States. Now, ICE is making it commonplace. In any other country, if federal agents fired upon journalists and protesters when unprovoked, what would we call it? If federal agents marched down busy streets, harassing civilians and demanding their papers, what would we say? I don't think we'd have any trouble calling it what it is: authoritarianism. So let's not pretend it's something else when it happens in our American cities.
So ICE has been raiding Illinois, and there were people who were talking about how bad it was. And I thought I had pulled up some of the videos, but I guess I did not. I was too busy looking at some of the other. But let me see what I can find on TikTok real fast. This is one of the videos I watched. Let me see if I can pull this over into StreamYard. Give me 1 second.
Corner, because they was bringing the kids out too, had them zip tied to each other. They just treated us like we were nothing.
Patricia Fisher says she came out to the hallway of her apartment complex on the corner of 75th and South Shore Drive in her nightgown around 10 Monday night, only to find ICE agents yelling police.
It was scary because I've never had a gun put in my face. They asked my name and my date of birth and asked me, did I have any warrants? And I told them no, I didn't.
She said she was then handcuffed and released around 3 a.m. Fisher says she was told if anyone had any kind of warrant out for them, even if it was unrelated to immigration, they would not be released. Citizen video shows the chaotic scene overnight. Neighbors tell us there were dozens of ICE agents. Neighbors like Ebony Watson says they ducked for cover as they heard several flashbangs go off.
They was terrified. The kids was crying. People was screaming. They looked very distraught. I was out there crying when I seen the little girl come around the corner. Because they was bringing the kids out too.
They look very distraught. Okay, girl.
Had them zip tied to each other. That's all I kept asking. Where's the morality? Where's the human? One of them literally laughed. He was standing right here. He said, them kids.
Watson says budget trucks and military-style vans were used to separate parents from their children.
Ooh.
Other neighbors say they saw.
You hear that? Come on, let me go back a little bit.
One of them literally laughed. He was standing right here. He said, them kids.
Watson says budget trucks and military-style vans were used to separate parents from their children. Other neighbors say they saw agents destroying property to get in the building.
And they had a big 15-inch chainsaw with a round blade on it, cutting this fence down. We're under siege. We're being invaded by our own military.
The FBI did confirm this morning that they did help the U.S. Border Patrol carry out a targeted immigration enforcement operation in this area, and they say they have been supporting these efforts at the direction of the U.S. Attorney General.
I was out.
This is what our nation is dealing with right now. This is what we're dealing with. Good morning, Living for Me 75. Thanks for joining the chat. Good morning, Michelle. You said, I'm here in Chicago. I'm on my way to the city right now to a funeral. I plan to roll through South Shore and peek at building. I'll see if I can get pictures. Can't interact driving. Okay, you be careful. Yeah, if you get pictures, let us know. I would love to see what it looks like. Hey, Symmetry. Yes, when I tell you, I watched that video and it makes me sad because we know that most people are in housing projects because of children. So you're rating them and then you're throwing the kids on the ground and then ICE agents saying F the kids. It's just too much. Yeah, we have to be aware of what's going on in our country. And I know sometimes we don't want to talk about Donald Trump and all of the stuff he has going on, but we have to be aware of what's going on. Be vigilant. They said right now the county fair is going on the state fair is going on in my area. And they were talking about how empty it was. Honey, this chat just done booted me over to get up under my desk. Oh, baby, anybody want a 1-year-old?
Yeah, okay. Sound like me with my niece.
Girl, he's literally up under. You're bumping your head. Literally gone up under my desk, and there's nothing up under there but a folder. I guess he wants that folder.
The minute you in this live, he gonna act like you ain't even there. You watch.
You're gonna not be on the other side of the room, but today he wants to be right here. But they said that the state fair has been empty because they say that there are ICE agents posted at the fair. So they were showing videos of how empty it was throughout the week because normally it's packed. So we'll see how empty if that remains the issue. A lot of people say, oh, it's because, people don't have the money. And this guy's like, no, that's not it. It's because they're afraid of ICE agents. Just terrible, dirty. Yeah, Sergeant Targe, they are just dirty for no reason. The Trump administration cut nearly $8 billion in clean energy products in states that backed past tense Kamala Harris. Let's look into that. Trump administration cuts nearly $8 billion in clean energy projects in states that backed Harris. The Trump administration is canceling $7.6 billion in grants that supported hundreds of clean energy projects in 16 states, all of which voted for Democratic Kamala Harris in last year's presidential election. Child, this is not a toy. The move comes as President Donald Trump threatens deep cuts in his fight with congressional Democrats over the government shutdown. The Energy Department said in a statement Thursday that 223 projects were terminated after a review determined that they did not adequately advance the nation's energy needs and were not economically viable. Officials did not provide details about which projects are being cut, but said funding comes from the Office of Clean Energy, Demonstrations, Office of Energy Efficiency and Renewable Energy, and other DOE bureaus. The cuts are likely to affect battery plants, hydrogen technology projects, upgrades to the electric grid, and carbon capture efforts, among many others. According to the environmental nonprofit Natural Resource Defense Council, Russell Vought, the White House budget director, highlighted the cutbacks in a social media post late Wednesday, saying money to fuel the left climate agenda is being canceled. And we all know they're not fueling anyone's agenda. We all know the only agenda they are fueling is their own. Please get from up under my desk. I'm begging you. Y'all, give me 1 second. Please, please. There is so much to play with that's not under that. There's so many toys.
Listen, think but.
You want Gray to pick you up? Okay. Girl, this is a mess. When I tell you a mess, this is a mess. He want to be right here with me, but you're right. As soon as I get off this side, he gonna run off, and I won't even be able to play with him no more.
Nope.
As we know, the government also shut down this week, right? And of course, they're telling us that shutdown is because of the left, the Democrats. But I came here to remind you that the government is majority Republican. They have the House, which is the Senate, and they have the lower part of Congress, which is the representatives. They have the majority in both. So for them to be up here saying that it's the Democrats' fault and it's on every single, and I will tell you this, the American National Federated Federal Workers Union actually are, they are hosting, well, they're not hosting, they are suing the Trump administration, possibly under the Hatch Act, because they posted on all the government websites that the left, or one website, HUD, says the left is shutting down the government. The VA website says the Democrats are shutting down the government, and you cannot we are one country. We're not the left or the right. We are one country. That's why there has to be a bipartisan effort to get this budget done. But the budget needs to be done. I put the government shutdown this week on Wednesday morning, October the 1st, the beginning of the new fiscal year. This is a Republican issue, and don't let them tell you anything else. The Republicans have the majority and aren't willing to compromise with any of the Democrats to open the government. What should be changed? I put a big question mark. What should be changed? I believe the first thing that should be changed, if the government is going to shut down, then the people shouldn't get paychecks that work in government. The Congress shouldn't get checks. The senators shouldn't get checks. The representative, no one should get a paycheck if they work in government and they cannot pass government to keep this pass the budget to keep the government open. And I said, we seem to have a threat of shutting down every year. So they need to really, really, really look at that and change some things. I am a federal worker, and I will tell you this. When it comes down to shutdown, it doesn't affect me because of my job, but it does affect my counterparts. My daughter is also a federal worker. She is a numbers girl. She has a degree and she plays with numbers all day long. They need her, but she's furloughed, right? And the department that she worked in, it's either you work or the bills don't get paid in some part of this government. So we need our government operating at all times. We don't need any shutdowns, because shutdowns do nothing but throw us back as a country. That's that on that. Let's go to a little bit of good news. Gavin Newsom signed a bill this past week giving Lyft drivers a little bit of good news. Newsom signs a bill giving 800,000 Uber and Lyft drivers in California the right to unionize. Sacramento, California, more than 800,000 drivers for the ride-hailing companies in California will soon be able to join a union and bargain collectively for better wages and benefits under a measure signed Friday by Governor Gavin Newsom. Y'all know I love me some Gavin Newsom. Supporters said the new law will open a path for the largest expansion of private sector collective bargaining rights in the state's history. The legislation is a significant compromise in the years-long battle between labor unions and tech companies. California is the second largest state where Uber and Lyft drivers can unionize as independent contractors. Massachusetts voters passed a ballot referendum in November allowing unionization, while drivers in Illinois and Minnesota are pushing for similar rights. Newsom announced the signing at an unrelated news conference at the University of California, Berkeley. The new law will give drivers dignity and say about their future, he said. Shout out for Governor Newsom. Y'all know I love me some Governor Newsom. I think he should probably run for president. Also, I saw something over on the, let's see, I got a couple of more things and we're going to let this little boy have his holy terror. I saw this over on the X. You know, Newsom likes to be on X. And I found this was very, I think it's newsworthy if you ask me. Governor Newsom said this is Donald Trump's doing, and he reposted Senator Reverend Raphael Warnock, which is of Georgia. He said, I was sent this by a Georgian this morning. 2025 premiums versus 2026 premiums for someone making $65,000 a year. Yeah, there's $65,000. Remember, they have to pay Medicare, federal income tax, and Social Security taxes on top of pay insurance. So this year for Anthem, Blue Cross Blue Shield, the Bronze Blue Value X5000, zero copays on visits and selected drugs, they've been paying $307.20 a month. Next year, for the same coverage, and the copays have changed, where they had $0 for virtual visits and select drugs. Now they have a $30 and a $0 virtual PCP visits and $0 select drug visits. So you may have $30 for your virtual visit, just depends. But this year it has tripled in cost, $964.30. That is ridiculous for the everyday blue collar worker. The baby says it's ridiculous. What do you think, Butterfly? I'm gonna let you loose.
Oh, it is, hell in the handbasket. Hell in the handbasket. And I really don't know how we're going to be able to come up out of this, because Trump, they already let him in office the first time and he did a lot of damage. But this time is really just like, it's just, you don't even know what to think. It's just so overwhelming. You know what I mean?
Right.
Very, very overwhelming. Even with the situation in Chicago. And I wish I would have saved this clip because I could have sent it to you to share. But there was a woman who's from Chicago, and she said they pretty much did what they was doing by targeting that housing complex. They wanted to get the Black people out protesting and doing all of that so they could implement martial law. And it's something that I've been saying. You know what I mean? I feel like that was a setup because, like I said, so far we haven't fed into it. So and they keep trying to get away because they want to implement martial law on us. You know what I mean? Did you see that? Do you have a copy of that clip of the goddamn meme that he put on his dang Twitter yesterday?
Who did? Trump?
Yep. Yes.
I can get it though on his Twitter. I will put, while we're doing it, I want to post what Ply said. Y'all know last week I posted Plies. He always has some inspirational something to share. Lord have mercy. This little boy, he's strong too.
Yeah, I like Plies. He's been keeping his foot on the neck of politics.
He does
for a minute. Yeah.
for a minute.
He don't really talk about nothing else no more like he used to.
If it's not his work, he's normally talking about politics. Every now and then he'll talk about something that he ran across on the street. But for the most part, he is using his platform to keep us informed. Because he knows he has a big platform and he can reach a big audience. He keeps us informed on what's going on. But he said, "Dear Kamala Harris, I just want to take the time to thank you for your efforts. You was telling the truth. You was the truth teller in this whole situation. You definitely knew his type so much. You literally told us what would happen before it even happened. You didn't lose. America did. This country didn't deserve you, but we know what did not means hyphenated. And it's the truth. As crazy as it may sound, we probably did not deserve Kamala. She tried to explain to us what would happen. And to believe it or not, I don't believe that we're going to be able, just as you said, to pull ourselves back out of this crap. I will say this while we're talking. Trump has been doing a lot of things that I don't think a lot of us really understand or even know. But Trump, I'm sure y'all have heard about the fact that he tried to end birthright citizenship, meaning if you were born to immigrant parents and you were born on U.S. soil, you would automatically become an American. He wanted to do that. And actually, I think it passed somewhere, but the Federal Appeals Court ruled that the Trump administration cannot end. I want you to hear that again. I'm going to take the "can" out. They cannot end birthright citizenship. This is very important. Boston, a Federal Appeals Court in Boston ruled on Friday that the Trump administration cannot withhold citizenship from children born to people in the country illegally or temporarily, adding to the mounting legal setbacks for the president's birthright order. A three-judge panel of the First U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals became the fifth federal court since June to either issue or uphold orders blocking the president's birthright order. The court concluded that the plaintiffs are likely to succeed on their claims that the children described in the order entitled to birthright citizenship under the Citizenship Clause of the 14th Amendment. The panel upheld lower court's preliminary injunctions, which blocked the birthright order, while lawsuits challenging it moved ahead. The order signed the day the president took office in January would halt automatic citizenship for babies born to people in the U.S. illegally or temporarily. The lessons of history thus give us every reason to be wary of now blessing this most recent effort to break with our established tradition of recognizing birthright citizenship and to make citizenship depend on the actions of one parent rather than in it all. Now you done hit your head and bust your foot. Child, this little boy. Y'all give me 1 second before he breaks my degree. Oh, Lordy. This little boy. You said, Annabelle would be, oh, you be careful, Miss AKA. Stop. Thank you for saying hello. Yes, I love Plies.
Hey, beautiful.
He's always telling the truth. So to know that people can, okay, let's back to this is citizenship depends on the actions of one's parent rather than in all the rarest of circumstances. The simple fact of being born in the United States, the court wrote. California Attorney General Rob Bonata, whose state was one of nearly 20 that were part of the lawsuit challenging the order, welcomed the ruling. The First Circuit reaffirmed what we already knew to be true. The president's attack on birthright citizenship flagrantly defies the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, and a nationwide injunction is the only reasonable way to protect against the catastrophic implications, Bernardo said in his statement. We are glad the courts have continued to protect American fundamental rights, and I am glad too. I am glad because I feel like a lot of times American citizens who come over here looking for a better life don't really understand how cruel that America can be. We hear them saying, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, but how can someone pull themselves up by their bootstraps if they don't have a job, if they can't get a job, and there's no resources in this free country to help them? And then you have a president who is hell-bent on making sure you don't have a job. I don't know why, but he is. I don't know if he thought we were going to go back to the fields and pick fruit and cotton. I'm not sure what he thought. I'm not sure what he thought, but he is hell-bent on making sure that there are no jobs. Hold on one second.
Oh, he absolutely is. And that's why I said, Joe, we have to get back to bartering. We have to get back to mastering trades because that's what's going to help us survive. You know, that's why I said, really, we don't need to be afraid. We just need to get back to the old way of doing things and teaching our families and teaching our children a trade, a specialty. Because, I mean, it's plain as day. We've been in a recession for how long now?
Yeah.
For one that they lied about, too. You might as well call it a cold recession because they try to act like we wasn't in one. Right. So, you know, that's why it's like we do have to get back to mastering things and passing it down to the next generations, you know? Mm-hmm. And I think that was one of the big reasons why they took trade out, because they knew how we survived off of that. A lot of us survived off of that, you know? That's why they even still not, you know, the farms now and stuff. So, yeah.
And it's unfortunate that that they are, you know, they're defunding the schools so you can't get educated. Anything that they believe, I believe that would help others, or, you know, certain demographics, they tried to remove it. That's my personal opinion. Doesn't mean it's true. It's just my opinion. But they've tried that, right? And in doing so, it's gonna leave certain demographics of people behind. And it's very unfortunate because we want to move forward. We want to move, and we're already 400 years behind because of slavery and other things that have happened to African American people. But to continuously be getting the brunt of the force of, okay, Black women are the most educated. Well, let's get rid of education. Let's take away that from them. Let's strip them of that. You don't need an education. You just have merit and we'll move you up the system on job. Well, let's get rid of DEI so you don't have, they can't move up by DEI, or let's get rid of affirmative action so they don't have, let's revoke the Civil Rights Bill of 1964, right? So if we do all of those things, then what does it leave us? Because we're trying to catch up, but you can never catch up if someone's always pushing you back. You can never catch up. Symmetry said they learned how to farm from us. Exactly, they did. But we all know when he ran on that campaign, he said himself that they're taking the Black jobs. And I kept saying, what does that mean? Someone asked him, what does that mean? And, you know, of course, Biden never asked him what it meant. But I wanted to know, what did he mean by they're taking the Black jobs? Because he had to have a meaning for that, instead of just saying it. And that the very of what Butterfly was just talking about is kind of a segue into my next thing. She was talking about a recession, and I want y'all to hear just some of the things one of the things I saw this morning on the internet. Is there something else I'm supposed to be showing? I don't think so. Let's see. Wrong one. Hold on a second. This little boy got me all discombobulated this morning as he beats on my furniture. That's not it. Why does it keep giving me that one? Here we go.
Yes. Was that good news for equities?
Yes, when it comes to interest rate, it is. One of the things we've seen is that the Fed has clearly increased interest rate quite massively after COVID because of what I call the original sin, where government and central banks spent $25 trillion to save human lives. And now that inflation is going back closer to normal, so it's all a question of what's neutral interest rate ought to be. So in the US, it should be between 3 and 3.5%. Interest rate went from 0.5 to 5.5 at the peak. They've cut by 100 basis points. The market is expecting another 140 basis points to reach terminal. So ultimately, what it means for corporates is that the discount rate and the equity return should come down. And this is what we're seeing, where the rally is no longer about tech, it is broadening. So we see small cap benefiting as well from that.
And no recession. No risk of recession here.
No, the risks of recession are pretty remote because because what's important is that if you keep interest rate too high, then you sort of increase the risk of recession because of the it will essentially reduce the potential growth of the economy. So what the Fed is doing is adjusting dynamically the level of interest rate to make sure it can meet its dual mandate of maximum employment and price stability.
We have bad news coming.
He ain't talking about nothing. Major bank issues warning that there is a 93% chance of a recession in the U.S. this year. How to prepare now. In tough economic times, everyone's looking for financial advice. They can take to the bank. It's not as fun, though, when the bank talks back, especially if it's delivering a major recession warning. Recently, global investment bank UBS announced that after crunching some hard data from between May and July of 2025, there is a 93% chance of the U.S. entering a recession this year. They're predicting it will come in December. Okay. I'm trying to think. However, UBS forecast was based on its assessment of several objective economic indicators like personal income, consumption, industrial production, and employment, according to Newsweek. However, despite the staggeringly high numbers and UBS's determination that the economy has reached historically worrying levels. Say that again, historically worrying levels. The bank technically isn't predicting a recession. Instead, UBS declared that the U.S. economy is soggy, soft, weak. Yes, but not collapsing, according to Fortune. That's marginally better, but far from enough to alleviate recession fears in the coming months. And as Fortune pointed out, even if a recession doesn't come to pass, many experts say the economy is headed for a bout of 1970-style stagflation, a combination of stagnation economy and rising inflation. The recession question, when will it happen? The UBS report comes on the heels of a dismal August job report released by the Bureau of Labor Statistics on September the 5th, showing the U.S. economy added just 22,000 jobs, way down from the 80,000 some economics predicted. The unemployment rate rose to 4.3%, its highest since hitting 4.6 in October 21. While Black unemployment edged up 7.5%. The later stat can serve as a negative bellwether for overall job market, since Black Americans disproportionately work lower income or temporary jobs that employers cut first when tightening purse strings in a downturn. In September, government numbers also showed that unemployed workers outnumbered job openings in the U.S. for the first time since April of 2021. All of this, combined with the UBS findings, continue to keep experts on their toes about the possibility of an upcoming recession. And then it goes on to talk about other people. And I just jotted down a couple of things that I just wanted to share. I said, also, Trump is no longer distancing himself from 2020, the Project 2025. Have you braced yourself for what is to come? If not, you need to do so. Buy charcoal. Buy charcoal, store it in your storage, in your your garage. Put it away. You may need charcoal because you're going to need something to cook with. If you don't buy charcoal and you have something you can cook with propane, like a propane burner or a propane stove, buy some propane. Stock up on those things. Stock up on water, dry goods such as beans, peas, lentils, cornmeal, flour. Plant you some green veggies. I have me a little herb garden, and I'm planting me some turnip greens and some collard greens. Plant you some veggies. Be prepared. Be prepared. Be prepared. If you start buying a little at a time, you'll have food to sustain you as America braces itself for a recession. We are headed to a recession. No matter what they say, I see it every single day. I see the people on the side of the street.
Thank you, Lady Ro. Thank you,
it.
Lady Ro. Thank God, because I was just sitting up here like, baby.
I see it. And I just feel like, as anybody who has a platform, my platform is this big, but I really believe that if you have a platform, it's our duty to warn others of what we see. I see it. I hate to say it. The government shutdown is one layer, and I'm not going to get emotional. It's one layer of what is to come. Because although the government shut down and workers are furloughed, they're saying this is going to be an avenue for this administration to fire people. And I'm going to tell you something. If we are firing people, how is our economy ever going to come back? How are we ever going to get back on top? We've been headed towards a recession for years, as long as I can remember. Seems like for the last 10, 15 years. And COVID did not help us at all. It actually took us down. But our taxes are getting higher. This week, exactly, I sat down and crunched some numbers on a rental spot that I have. And I pay almost $10,000 between homeowners insurance and taxes. And that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So they're almost making home ownership, the American dream, as they used to call it, unachievable. Because how can you own a home if your principal and interest payment may be $200 or $300 and you're paying $800 in your escrow, or $1,000, $1,200 in your escrow? In your escrow, that's going to make your house payment be over almost $2,000. It makes no sense. I see people scraping to live. I'm not telling you what I heard. I'm telling you what I know. I'm telling you what I see in this community, because as many of you know, I'm out in the community every day working. I see people saying, I barely have enough money to pay my rent. My rent went up. And I'm talking about seniors on Social Security, fixed incomes, saying my rent just went up. I was paying $600. They went up to $1,050. I'm just throwing out some numbers. I'm not saying none of this is accurate. And my check is only $1,200. What am I going to eat off of? How am I going to pay for my medication? How am I going to pay my car insurance? How am I going to pay for my car payment? How am I going to live? How? When I tell you my house is not equipped for children, I have fingernail polish on my desk. I have polish remover, and he has touched every single one of it. Now he has a Vaseline stick that he's beating like a drum.
Oh, you better get that before next thing you know, it's all over his face and all over your flow.
It has a screw top on it, so it's tight. But
okay.
But the very fact that this administration expects us to stand by and just do nothing. Remember, we have the power. I want y'all to remember that. Let me see. My girl actually posted this on her TikTok the other day, and I think it's important. We're getting ready to. I'm gonna get ready to end this live. Jennifer. What is her name? I just drew a blank and it was on my head. Lewis.
Oh, I hate when that happens. Right at the top. Right at the tippy top.
I got her. I found her. I want y'all to listen to this just for a second. So we can, because I want you to understand who has the power in this country. I want you to realize who has the power.
In truth, because he wants us to forget about Epstein. He's sending in truth because he knows he ain't clean. But they forget that it's the people that have the power. It's the people that's got the power. The people got the power. It's the people that's got the power. We the people that got the power.
Jennifer.
We the people that got the power.
I love her.
We the people. I want y'all to remember that. This country is ran and is based off of us. We run this. We decide. I'm going to tell you this. Queen Script mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, the hierarchy of needs, the Maslow hierarchy of needs. And there are things that we just have to have to live. And with those needs, and I'm going to share those needs because we need, sometimes we just have to be reminded of what we need in this world. Maslow's hierarchy of needs is a psychological theory proposed that human motivation is driven by 5 levels of needs arranged in pyramids, from basic physiological survival needs at the bottom to self-actualization, achieving one's full potential at the top. I'm going to see if I could tap on that. So your psychosocial needs: air, water, food, shelter, sleep, clothing, reproduction. Safety needs: personal security, employment, resources, health, property. If you don't get those things on the red and the things in the yellow, guess what you do? You go out to obtain it. That's when we're going to see theft and killing, because people have to have the basic needs. They have to have their basic needs met. They have to have it. That's just life. They have to have it. Remember, the basic, the bottom needs, you have to have air, water, food, shelter. Hey, stop. Air, water, food, shelter, sleep, clothing, reproduction. Those are just your basic needs. Safety needs, personal security, employment, resources, health, property. And then you go into the softer levels: love, esteem. You have to have those things. Those are self-actualization. Those are our basic. This is Maslow's basic needs, and he ranked them for what you need the most on the bottom. That's the core of our being: air, water, food, shelter, sleep, clothing, and reproduction. That is the basic part of your needs. They have to be met. And when they're not met, people go out to achieve them in whatever way they can. And that's when the world will become dangerous. We have to remember that we hold the power. And if this country does not flip, I see an uprising. Not so. When I say civil war, it may be the citizens of this world against the administration. I'm not saying it will be, but that may be what it is. But something's got to give, because people's basic needs have to be met. Butterfly, you got something you want to say before we close out?
I just want to thank you for allowing me to be a part of your morning Saturday scoop. I enjoy your morning Saturday scoop. Just keep on doing what you're doing. I love the fact that you actually started your platform. You just bring a great perspective. and you're very versatile. And I love that for you. And I'm really proud of you. So I just want to thank you for allowing me to be a part of your morning scoop show. So thank you, Buttercup.
I appreciate it. And I want to thank everybody for joining this live today. Miss AKA, you got to be kidding me. Symmetry, Sergeant Charge, Miss Top Notch, Michelle, Living for Me 75. Child, I'm been fighting this kid. Queen Script, Bad Girl Riri. Trying to make sure I don't want to miss anybody's name. You got to be kidding me. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you for coming in. Butterfly, thank you for being my tag team lady today. Please subscribe to this channel. I am trying to get my numbers up. So if you have some time and you enjoy the content I put out, please subscribe. I will be doing a live. Well, your finger, you're going to get it smashed. I will be doing a review of Bell Collective. I did watch it last night. I just want to tweak it real quick and make sure that I have added everything that I should to it before I do the live. Or if I don't do a live, it may be a pre-recorded. I have a lot of things going on today besides babysitting this little boy. But definitely going to be getting this the Bell Collective live out to everybody. So I'm going to leave you with this note. This is from, I posted this a while back. But we're going to
Trump and the Republicans quietly created the first wave of death panels.
If no one told you today they love you, I love you, and there anything you can do about it. We're going to let Stacey Abrams take us out. Okay? All righty.
I'm not being hyperbolic. They are launching a pilot program that uses artificial intelligence to decide whether Medicare patients get certain treatments. That means an algorithm, not your doctor, can say yes or no to care, to lower quality of life and the potential of inadequate medical treatment. But unlike the histrionics around the Affordable Care Act, private tech companies will actually get a cut of the money they save by denying treatment. The more care they block, the more they profit. At the very same time, Elon Musk is rewriting his AI chatbot Grok to parrot right-wing talking points. That's the same AI that spit out Nazi slogans before he pulled it back. If you've read my latest novel, Coded Justice, you know this is dangerous. When algorithms become the tools of autocrats, they become weapons used against the people. Medicare is our nation's promise to our elderly, but under this authoritarian regime, guaranteed healthcare for seniors is being secretly morphed into private insurance that can discriminate, and truth itself is being rewritten through algorithms. It's dystopian, it's wrong, and it's already happening in the pilot states of Arizona, New Jersey, Ohio, Oklahoma, Texas, and Washington. This is step 7 in the autocrats' playbook: weaponize technology to strip away rights from the vulnerable, to control what people believe, and decide who counts. If we stay quiet, it won't stop with Medicare. It's another step towards autocracy, and our health and our democracy are on the line. So speak up.